Hello, my fiery kittens. Today, I want to talk about a series that I was almost 100% convinced never actually existed. Let me rephrase that. In 2010, there was a series known as Sym-Bionic Titan. It had commercials aired on Cartoon Network all the time for it, but the show itself barely had any episodes that aired on Cartoon Network. In 2010, I was the age of the demographic for the show, and I can tell you, I had no idea when it was airing, did not see a single episode. I saw all the commercials for it, and I was excited for this show, and I never saw a single episode. At some point, it was put on Toonami, but then again, it was removed from Toonami, and now it lives on Netflix, which makes me so happy because I finally got to see the series that I was almost 100% convinced wasn't real, and it was Cartoon Network trolling me. I was convinced the Cartoon Network had been trolling all of us, and this didn't actually exist. And people were trolling back with the, "Oh, I saw and it was so good." Obviously, no one actually trolled. It is a real series. You can find it on Netflix, and I highly recommend it for anyone who is looking for a cartoon that they want a good cartoon to watch. Sym-Bionic Titan. It's fantastic. It is great. You'll fall in love with the characters. The stories are pretty well put together, and the animation is 100% smooth. So there is no issue there. Anyway, so once I finally found this Sym-Bionic Titan and watched it, I really enjoyed it. And I decided I really wanted to, make a review on it, but I didn't want it to be the same type of review that everyone's given, where everyone's like, "Oh, it's such a good series, you should go watch it, and then here's why it's great." I feel like so many people have reviewed it, so many people have reacted to it, so many people have said that it's amazing and suggested it, and it's been overdone. So I thought, instead of reviewing the whole show, I would just review my favorite character like I did with My Hero Academia. As opposed to talk about the entire series of Sym-Bionic Titan, I was going to just talk about my favorite character, and I will review that to you in a little bit if you haven't read the title. So, in Sym-Bionic Titan, there are three main characters. Elena, who is the princess. Lance, who is the soldier, emo soldier if you want to discuss it, he's the bad boy. And Octus, the robot. So, with the series, the three main characters, Elena and Lance pretty much stay within their archetype, and I'm not sure, because I can't remember much back to 2010 and what was airing and what was going on, but in 2020, these two archetypes are kind of played to death in my opinion. We have the really happy-go-lucky, positive girl character, and the dark, emo, brooding guy. Which, again, in 2010, it might have not been played out at this point in time. I can't remember the shows that were happening back then, so I can't give you a good rate of what that's going on. But I would say, for me, watching it, those two characters didn't really shine. I love them, don't get me wrong. They were great, and they did really well with the archetypes. But it wasn't anything special or spectacular. Octus. Octus was spectacular. He was my favorite character. He was different. He wasn't just a robot, alright? With most robot types, they always make it so the robot doesn't understand humans at all. They don't understand most things. They can't make sarcastic comments. Robots, the whole thing about a robot is that they're less in touch with the world and humanity than the two characters. Octus isn't that. Octus gets humans, in the first episode, he understood human society enough to set up Lance and Elena as siblings, register them to school, and then give them the social structure of the high school. Now you're like, oh, that's just old data, but he does things that most robots don't do. For example, when he tells them they're siblings and these are their new names, he then rushes out like any other person would, because you know that they're gonna be mad. He leaves and goes, oh, first, second bell means you have to get there. And it's great. He makes little quips that are funny as can be. There's a point where there's this like dumb jock character. It's like, how much would you pay me if I drank this? And it's a fish in a jar, right? Not a fish in a jar, it's a frog in a jar. The frog in the jar, he's joking around, like, you'll pay me to eat this, and the guy's like, he's supposed to be a very dumb character. And Octus says, no, why would I pay you? And then the jock character drinks it. And Octus's response is, I kid you not, how are you alive? So sassy, so funny. I can't tell you how much I love Octus. So, getting past that, so Octus actually has 3 big roles for the characters. So, his job, he is obviously first Octus the robot. So he's the way that they form SymBionic Titan. He is their cash machine. He makes artificial money to give it so that they can live in the society. He's the one who soups up the house so that they have, all the technology they need to make sure when the bad aliens come down to attack them that they can protect. He's what the robot does. He's got all the gadgets, all the gizmos. He fixes anything. He knows how to look up information instantly, etc. So that's his first role as Octus. Second role, he's the smart, dorky character of the school known as Newton. So when he's in the high school with them, he's Newton. And Newton has his own awesomeness to him because, yes, he's the dork character, right? But he interacts with humans, he makes friends, he kind of rolls with it. Newton gets a girlfriend, and he doesn't just get any girlfriend. He gets the #1 most popular girl in the whole school. He got Kimmy to be his girlfriend, right? And I have to say, in the whole series, that is the relationship that it seems a romantic relationship. I understand Elena and Lance's relationship develops really well, and they work really well. I kind of like them as brother and sister kind of thing. I just like that. But Newton and Kimmy's relationship in the romantic sense is the most amazing and best evolved. All right. So first of all, it's the dork of the school and the most popular girl. So you would think that they'd have some episode where Kimmy tries to change Newton. Nope. She specifically tells him that she loves him the way he is, and she would never want him to change just because he's dating her. That she loves him the way he is. Boom. Alright, kicked off one of the most annoying, stereotypical things they do with that. Right? Second, you would assume that at some point they would have a fight over, I don't know how else to put it. It'd be like all her friends would abandon her. So at some point, there'd be a point where the main hot girl kind of becomes isolated from all her hot friends and then becomes a dork to be with the dork. Doesn't happen. All her hot friends still accept her relationship with Newton. I mean, it works so well, and there's points where they do fight, like Newton leaving her and sending her in her ex-boyfriend's car so that she would be safe. they have a fight over that because she didn't want to go with him. She wanted Newton to take her home. She wanted to be protected by Newton, not by her ex, but you know, the most logical way, and they don't break up because of it. The only reason they break up in the series was because she told him she was finally done with all the random him disappearing with his family thing, because they have to form Sym-Bionic Titan, he kind of has to be there to form it. But she doesn't know that. She just thinks it's some weird bathroom thing, which is, it's really funny that the only way he can think of to exit room is, I have to go to the bathroom. So that was a weird bathroom thing. But she said the one thing she wanted was prom night, he had to be there for her. Or no, it was homecoming. I'm sorry, it wasn't prom, it's homecoming. And he had to be there for her, period. And he wasn't, and so that's why they break up. Because he couldn't prioritize her. And it's the most realist thing for two people to break up. It's when your job or something you're doing, when you're not prioritizing your significant other, they feel not important to you and you do break up. So it was a real moment to break up. And they end the series not with the two getting back together, but they kind of show that that Newton had a big enough impact on, well, the other two, Lance and Alana, they all three of them had such an impact on the neighborhood that the teens, specifically Kimmy, go to check on them when they haven't been to school for, I want to say the timeline was 2 weeks, but I don't know, because they did 2 weeks and then they showed them going to the house like later, so I don't know if that was after the 2 weeks, but for sure it was 2 weeks that they were gone. And Kimmy texted and she was upset, she looked for him and stuff like that, like not completely, but they took it as like they all moved without telling them, and they were all kind of sad and upset. And then they end the series with Newton sending Kimmy a text saying, I got all your text message, we'll be coming home soon. And Kimmy just starts crying. Newton, he's coming home. So that relationship gave me feels, okay? His relationship with Kimmy gave me feels. They were entertaining, they did teenage things. Kimmy brought him to all her cool parties and stuff like that. It was fun. Thanks to Kimmy, honestly, I think Lance and Elena ended up doing a lot more teen activities, because Newton was dating Kimmy, and Newton kind of made Lance and Elena come with him every time. Well, not every time, but you know what I mean, a lot of times. So that was his Newton character, and finally, the final character that he plays in the series is Mr. Lunas, so Lance and Elena's father character. The father character is more or less just so, one, they have someone who can drive them places, because legal age, right? So that the neighborhood doesn't get suspicious that 3 teenagers live in one house with no parental people. So that they can purchase the house, because, again, 3 teenagers trying to purchase a house would not work out. He's also there to talk to the neighbors, etc. Do all the parental stuff that's needed to happen is done through his dad persona, Mr. Lunas. And it works well. It's a very well done character. He's just, I don't know, old man. He's just old man. It's funny when marriage crash. I don't know, I just like that. Really late. Really funny. It's like one of those things. They purposely grew him to be unattractive. now know it wasn't permanent, but it played off as permanent. Why that emotional state was just so harsh, and it was sad, and I felt bad, and I kept yelling at the screen, he better come back, he better come back, he better come back. Because again, Octus is my favorite character. So, and when he does come back, it's, you almost feel so relieved he's back and so happy, and you're like, yes, the heart of the show. Yeah, the show becomes really dark without Octus. When they take him out, the show became mega dark. Like, it was scary dark. But after he comes back, it becomes lighthearted, and they decide to go back to where they were living, which is awesome. So that's what I have to say, is that Octus is the heart of the show. He has the greatest relationships with not only the two mains, but also other humans. He's the reason that these characters are able to pretty much enter the society seamlessly. And he's the reason for Sym-Bionic Titan. He's the reason they can form that giant robot. So, in my opinion, if you watch Sym-Bionic Titan, remember to watch Octus, because you will love him. He will make you laugh, he will make you cry, and he's just the best. So that's my review. Thanks for watching. Firecats 3 out.